Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, speaking to the human being, he tells us, he say, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبُ لَكُمْ. Words in English which means that what your sustainer says to all of you, call unto me, and I shall respond to you. And so we begin this meeting this evening by acknowledging our complete dependence on our guardian, evolver, and sustainer, our Rabb, the God of Adam, the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, the God of Jesus, the God of Muhammad, and all of the righteous servants. We pray for blessings upon those in attendance, and we are honored by your presence. Furthermore, we pray that this evening will be a source of spiritual and cultural enrichment for all of us. And towards that end, we read from Surah Al-Hujurat, wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَىٰ وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِندَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ خَبِيرٌ. Words in English which means all humanity. It's normally translated all mankind, but we want to give an inclusive prayer. So we say all humanity, behold. We have created or constituted all of you from a single pair of a male and a female. And we have made you into nations and tribes so that you may come to know one another. In other words, so that you, all of you, may know that you belong to one human family without any inherent superiority of one over another. And verily, the most honored and noblest of you in the sight of the God Allah is that one who is most deeply conscious and aware of him, our merciful benefactor, merciful Redeemer. Behold, verily, the God Allah is all-knowing, he is well acquainted, and he's all aware with all things. It is our sincere prayer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would accept our efforts of good, bless you and your family, and we say to you, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. And at this time, I'd like to invite our esteemed MC, Mr. Calvin Hughes from Local News 10. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. How is everyone tonight? See some familiar faces, and it's great to see everyone. Dr. Rosenberg. Oh my God, John Yearwood. Oh man, some familiar faces. How many Channel 10 fans do we have out there? That's awesome. That's more than last time when I was here. This is good. This is good. We're making progress. You know, I was the MC, I guess, a couple of years ago, and last year you all had someone who was much prettier from a different TV station. Yeah, for those of you who were here last year, you're shaking your head like, yeah, she's much beautiful. She's in Chicago now. So I'm still here, so what does that say? All right, you know, it's a little cold in Chicago right about now, you know. But I understand that you guys didn't like me when I was here last time, so hopefully I'll do a better job this time. This is the 6th annual Community Appreciation Dinner for Cosmos. The room was a little smaller. Last time we had it in Shabir's closet, and there were like two, no, just kidding. But man, every table is filled here. This is awesome. Let's give a big round of applause to Cosmos. Wow, this is awesome. Next year we'll have it at the convention center, huh? You know, some things have changed since I was your MC. Dr. Jaffer is now a national hero, hanging out with President Obama. Did you guys see that, State of the Union? I almost fell off my seat. I said, I know that guy. They cut to a shot of you. That was awesome. It had to be an awesome experience. He said it was the bald head. And Karam, some of his legal cases have gone on to cable TV. Karam Mahid, where's Karam? Where are you, buddy? Yes, there he is by the door. I was watching television one night and saw one of your legal cases on television. Really, really awesome stuff. So, yeah, some things have changed. Some things have changed, and this is awesome. And this is a really critical time in our history. You know, having President Obama go to the mosque in Baltimore. Did you all see the speech by chance? Wasn't that an awesome speech? Absolutely. I know the critics have said that he probably should have gone not in year number 8, but in probably year number 2. But the fact that he actually went says a lot about the importance of Muslim Americans to our country. And, you know, too oftentimes people have a misconception. And so some of our heroes, as as President Obama talked about, from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Muhammad Ali, you name some of the heroes of Muslim Americans, and too oftentimes people are so quick to jump to the side of a particular presidential candidate. We won't say any names. And, oh, you guys clearly on watching the news, you would have a different response from that. But it's pretty clear that this is a critical time, and I'm so happy that we are celebrating Muslim Americans tonight, and they are celebrating us. This is a great moment. At the table, I'd like to introduce someone who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Her name is Syra Fussell. She is an 8th grader at Franklin Academy in Pembroke Pines. She's only 13 years old, and she lives in Miramar. She's a young girl after my own heart. She loves journalism. That's her favorite subject. She enjoys reading, writing, and filming. Ms. Fussell, come on up to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance, and please stand, of course, if you will, and face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Our first presenter tonight, he is going to deliver the welcome address. He's been in South Florida for a very long time, since we've had horse and buggies going. No, just kidding. He's been to South Florida for 45 years. And during this time, he has been involved in a wide range of professional and community service activities. He's currently serving as Executive Director of the Asian American Advisory Board in Miami-Dade County. He has been for the last 15 years. He is a U.S. Army veteran. He has served on a number of boards and grant panels of various organizations, including the Urban League of Greater Miami, Miami Council of International Visitors. He's also been a lifelong peace activist. He was an American Jewish Committee's nominee for Project Interchange and was a peace delegate to Israel back in 2002. He's also been a member of the U.S. State Department-sponsored delegation which visited Egypt. He's the founder of NUR, or NUR, the NUR Center for Women and Children, a safe house for the Asian women and children in distress. He's also a co-founder of Sahara, back in 2003, a women's support group for Asian victims of abuse and domestic violence. But most importantly, he's married to Dr. Shahida and has 2 daughters. So he has a benevolent dictatorship in his household. He can only use the bathroom when they tell him to. He has 5 grandchildren. Many of you know that I'm talking about Mohammed Shakir.
With the 2 daughters and 5 granddaughters, you know that I can't believe in democracy because I have no chance. No, at all, completely. So I go back to my Middle Eastern roots and believe in dictatorships. And it doesn't fly in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for a moment of silence for the victims of violence in 2015. Thank you. Cosmos is the difference between peace and violence, and we champion the cause of peace. Honorable Wilfredo Ferrer, U.S. Attorney for Southern District of Florida. Honorable Ken Okaniva, Consul General of Japan. Honorable Philip Wong of Taiwan, Republic of China. Honorable Michael Kroner, Deputy Consul General of Germany. Honorable Ahmet Yildiz and Barbaros Gulgin, Vice Consul of Turkey. Esteemed elected officials, members of judiciary, friends of Cosmos, good evening. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to welcome you to 6th Cosmos Community Appreciation Dinner. Once a year we gather here to share Cosmos' vision with you, the vision for peace, tolerance, and coexistence, and also to report on the state of community relations. I'm heartened to see this huge crowd here, and I recall 7 years ago when we had a difficult time when we started to get 120 people. And believe me, this time we had a difficult time offering regrets to 120 people. So therefore, state of community relations is very good. The secret of success is the story of two groups. A group that came to the United States of America to adopt a new home, and another group that welcomed us, embraced us, and allowed us to settle us down here. It is a people who shared the opportunities and allowed us to excel to our best potential. They did not resent our success. In fact, they applauded and celebrated with us. What is the essence of America? And this is because we are an immigrant nation. But this trust and confidence in us is not misplaced. It is based on an honest realization that the world is full of mischief. It is only as safe as we make it together. And finally, we have to have a commitment that we must work together sincerely, transparently, and with a positive long-term engagement. We have proven time and again that we will not ignore wrong, even if it is coming from one of our own. And you have also proven to stand by us time and again to confront those people who try to tell us and accuse us by association by guilt with the people who commit wrong somewhere else in the world. Yves Gunny, a French Jewish delegate who visited us at the invitation of U.S. Department of State and was hosted by Global Ties Miami, formerly Miami Council of International Visitors, witnessed us functioning. She visited our clinics. She saw our youth feeding the homeless, and she saw our shelters providing safe harbor and safe places for women and children in distress. She went back and wrote a letter to French Secret Service, French Foreign Services, and asked them to come visit us in Miami and see what kind of a model community we are building here. When Pastor Jones was burning copies of Quran in Central Florida, our Catholic friends realized their anguish, and Archbishop Winsky graciously penned a piece of letter calling it an un-Christian-like act on our behalf. Religious icons like Rabbi Schiff, who is sitting just around here, has stood by us time and again, holding vigils and reminding the law enforcement to be vigilant about Muslims in their community. To counter the rhetoric of hateful people, politicians who can't find Muslims, peaceful Muslims in America, Roberta Shevin, Director of MCCJ, distinguished community leader, Mr. David Lawrence, and educator, Daniel Alvarez of FIU, spoke out and endorsed Cosmos as a peace-loving entity in our community. In 2013, our keynote speaker then, and our honoree tonight, Dr. Rosenberg, was reminded that FIU lacks a program about Muslim world studies. Dr. Rosenberg said, well, he candidly acknowledged that we don't have it, but we can have it. And last year, Dr. Rosenberg delivered on his promise. And I hope that Dr. Rosenberg will advance his vision of cooperation of civilizations to counter the vision presented by Sam Huntington, a false assumption of clash of civilizations. Dr. Rosenberg, your challenge is still not over. Ladies and gentlemen, Florida Muslim community have reciprocated the spirit of goodwill by categorically rejecting violence. We do not always agree on everything, but we always agree on one thing, peacefully agree to disagree. Cosmos, thank you. The lights are bothering me very much. Cosmos is committed to possible engagement to build a better community and will welcome every help that we can get from you. Like my community can learn from your collective experience. In this audience, we have some outstanding individuals. We have John Earwood and Harold Team, who bring the world closer to us and keep us informed. We have former Commissioner Katie Sorensen, an outstanding civil rights champion, who once championed the cause of a voiceless community to build their temple in her district. And we have Alan and Vivian Diamond, who graciously hosted the first meeting for Muslim World Studies at their palatial home. And we appreciate that, Mr. Diamond. And my friend Annette Alvarez, who's sitting here, she does not miss any opportunity to let people know that she has some Muslim friends and they're good people. And we appreciate that. We're fortunate to have good friends like you and good working relationship with institutions who are present here, like media, like law enforcement, and political establishment. All we ask you to open more opportunities for Muslim youth, to work closer with you, let them see you in action, mentor them to be good citizens and good Americans. People are better citizens when they're informed they will do the right thing. Only ignorance makes them hostage of hate and prejudice. Recognizing this, Professor Randy Kaufman started a forum Islam today at Miami-Dade Homestead campus. Soon after that, Adrian Thompson, another professor at Inter-American campus, introduced the same program, and I'm sure that by next year, we'll have these all across Miami-Dade community colleges. I'm confident that together we can shape a model community and show the world that harmony in diversity is possible and it works in America. Thank you.
Tonight. And I'm thinking she'll probably ask, if you think you're a VIP, you can please stand too when she calls your name. That's supposed to be a joke, but I guess you guys are not laughing. If you think you're a VIP, please stand. Okay. Tayshin Siddiqui, she is a physician assistant and holds a Master's of Clinical Medical Sciences from Baylor University. Tayshin is also a board member for Sahara of South Florida, the Nurse Center as well, Muslim Women's Organization of South Florida, and of course Cosmos. She serves as a volunteer for Dean Intensive Foundation, South Florida chapter, and at the UHI Medical Clinic. Tayshin is married and lives in Davie with her husband and her 3 children. A big round of applause for Mrs. Siddiqui.
Good evening. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's my honor to recognize the dignitaries among us. Please, this is not in any particular order, and if I forget anyone, please forgive me. Also, as your name is called, please stand and be recognized. Your name or your organization is called. Director General Taiwan, Honorable Philip Wang. Consul General Japan, Honorable Ken Okaniwa. Vice Consul Israel, Honorable Ariel Raymond Harris. Vice Consul Turkish Republic, Babarsha Gugor. Vice Consul Turkish Republic, Ahmet Yelzik. Congressman Joe Garcia. Miami-Dade property appraiser Pedro Garcia. Pedro Garcia. Miami-Dade County Public Defender Office, Mr. Carlos Martinez. I would like to call upon members of Miami-Dade County Public School System that are present in the audience. City of Miami, Deputy Attorney Barnaby Min. Office of Community Relations, Renee Diaz. Members of ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union. Members of Americans for Immigrant Justice. Anti-Defamation League. Mr. Einstein. City of Cooper City. City of Pembroke Pines. Children's Trust. Miami-Dade College. And of course, FIU, Florida International University. Come on, there's a lot of FIU here. I took one class there. I went to NSU. Miami Herald, member of Miami Herald. Channel 10. And members of Asian American Advisory Board. Mr. and Mrs. Diamond. And honorable members of clergy, all of you. And there are many candidates here today that are running for local elections in 2016. Please stand and be recognized. Also, I would like to call upon former Cosmos Award recipients. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And again, if I forgot anyone, my apologies. And you can come back to Faisal, and we can probably announce the name at the end. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner.
We'll first try to get Faisal from underneath that bus that, no, just kidding. Now to present the first award, a man who really needs no introduction, especially to this audience here. His work is well known. He's a philanthropist. He teaches at FIU, University of Miami, and at Nova. How he finds the time to do all three, we have no idea. Dr. Jaffer is also partners at UHI Clinic, the YMCA, LifeNet for Families, Broward Food Pantry, Rotary Projects, and even runs a free mobile clinic or clinics in Africa. He's also a founding member of this great organization, Cosmos. And he's world famous now after going to the State of the Union address. Dr. Mohsen Jaffer, come on up, please. Big round of applause. Does so much.
Kelvin is taller than me, so I've got to put this down. You know, Kelvin, I'm a geriatric doctor. I take care of older people. I'm looking at you. The older you get, you're getting more handsome and more funny. I've got to borrow your secret sauce. I've got a pleasant duty, a wonderful duty, to introduce a man we all admire and respect. And this is about an Ohio boy who grows up and wants to get a degree. And look at how fate plays the role. Oh, thank you, Shabir. He goes to Miami University in Ohio. Fate. Undergraduate degree. He becomes a PhD from the Steelers. I hope you don't have any affiliation with them anymore. Dolphins. And then, 76, he finds a job as a professor. He's a PhD in political science. He has a predilection for Latin American studies, and he becomes a professor in FIU, one of the few presidents who rose from the ranks. He knows the university like the back of his hand. In 2009, he becomes the president. And he also became the chair, the governor, the chancellor of governors of all the universities for a while in the state of Florida. So today, as the 5th president of this great university among us, it's a state university, they have 50,000 students, 55,000 students. This year, they graduated 13,000 students almost. They are one of the 10th largest universities, right in your backyard. I used to live in your backyard, by the way, in Sweetwater. You're a little dingy little college. Look at what you are today. You can't even fit your campus. You're growing so big. This is a university on steroids. And thanks to you, you've really injected that power, that vigor, that vim in you, and you're lifting our town with you. Thank you. You know, universities have a very great contribution. You don't realize that as an American. We have the largest number of universities in the world. But students from all over the world have been welcomed to our universities. We have nurtured them, sometimes even given them scholarships. We have let them live in our society. We have let them experience democracy. We have let them live our lifestyle where everybody is equal. We don't judge you by your color, class, creed, and we let you even work with us, grow with us, and academically become proficient. A lot of them stayed. That's why America today is gifted with this immigrant population that really injected all this IT and all this innovation and all these immigrants who made our country great. But a lot of them go back. And when they go back, they are the best ambassadors of our nation. They go back having fallen in love with America. They do business with American companies. They send other children back to our universities to do the same thing. And that's why American power has been projected. We call this the soft power. But believe you me, it's not the weapons that has made us great. It's this caring democracy that we have injected in the world. And thank you, all our universities. So this young man, as a professor, becomes the president of university, and he embarks on projects. And then the university has been growing. So 2 years ago, He was our keynote speaker. So we challenged him and said, think about it. You're one of the 10th largest universities in our nation. It's a state university. But you don't have a program where you study the second largest religion in the world. 1/4 of this world are made of Muslims. We don't know much about them. Whatever we know is what we hear from these idiots who do things in the name of Islam. Or in the Middle East, what's happening, the quagmire, the bad things. But what about the good? What about this rich tapestry of what Muslim world stands for? Their history, their contribution, their language, their folklore, their culture, their music, their traditions. We don't know. 1/4 of the world we don't know. And he took the challenge. A man with a big heart, a man with a vision. And he says, I'll do it. And together with the Green Foundation, which gave a huge donation, we have Green School of Studies. And then with people like Alan and Vivian, who took the challenge, we have launched Muslim World Studies to study Muslims all over the world, not just their religion, but about the people. And you know what this is all about. Either you are children of Adam or a product of the same one-celled creature, whatever you believe, I don't care. But we are in it together. This is our planet, and we are stuck together. The sooner we learn about each other and we know each other, we're going to be great. So Dr. Rosenberg is going to set up this phenomenal bastion in Florida where we'll encourage to study Islamic world all over, encourage their scholars, and send them back. And we will become the shining light in this nation for learning about this 1/4 of our neighbors. Let me take the pleasure to welcome you, the architect of this, Dr. Mark Rosenberg. Thank you. Am I supposed to give the prize now or later? Okay. This is a little token for you to keep on your desk and to remember that there are people who appreciate what you have done. And the least we can do is say thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Too kind. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, I want to thank Cosmos. That was a too kind introduction, although I feel that it was a perfect opportunity to give me further instructions as we go forward. Welcome to my world, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you so much to Cosmos. Thank you to Dr. Jaffer, the entire team. Yes, I was here a few years ago. I must tell you, I really feel at home here because of the incredible mix of very thoughtful people, individuals who all want the same thing, a better world to raise their sons and their daughters and their grandsons and their granddaughters. We recognize that this award really is not so much about where we've been and what we're doing, but what we ought to be doing and how we're going to do it. FIU does have a commitment to what we call the FIU Center for Muslim World Studies. We, in 2013, heard you loud and clear at the appreciation dinner. You asked us to work with you. You asked us to establish a center that was devoted to the study of the global Muslim experience. And of course, it made so much sense given who we are, where we are, and what we aspire to do. This initiative, in many ways, is emblematic of who we are as a university, as a public university in this incredible community. We see ourselves as a solution center. We are willing to take responsibility to engage our community. We don't want to lighten the load. We just want broader shoulders to carry that load. And you are helping us to have those broader shoulders. Alan and Vivian and so many others, Dr. Jaffer. We're so grateful for that. Now, we just won a national award from the Institute of International Education in New York for our commitment to global awareness. And And as Dr. Jaffer mentioned, our new Stephen J. Green School of International and Public Affairs is very well positioned to take on the challenge that you have set before us. John Stack, our dean, who couldn't be here, he's in Cambridge with our Model UN. Imagine our Model UN at FIU today, ladies and gentlemen, is ranked 4th in the country, behind Georgetown, behind Yale, and behind Chicago. Then it's FIU with your sons and daughters getting that done. So he's there. But we've got an incredible team who are here. Professor Mohidin Bezbahi, Mohammed Qureshi, Seema Pasaris. I don't know whether Dan's here, but these are incredible faculty. It's a blessing to be able to work with them. And then most recently, as many of you know, we're so proud, we're so pleased, we're so happy that Saifus Shuf is now a senior vice president at our incredible university. Vice president for engagement. What better position for Saif? We're so happy that he's part of our team now. So we heard you, we hear you, and we're going to do more. Our center has already sponsored countless lectures and gatherings and discussions, including a lecture by the representative of the Nobel Prize-winning Tunisian quartet. We just hosted Ambassador William Luers, who was one of the creators of the Iran Project, and more recently was one of the policymakers behind the influential Iran Accord that has been so much discussed. And we are planning a major gathering right here in Miami on that Iran Accord in just a few months, working with Ambassador Luers. We also are just finishing up a new certificate in Muslim World Studies that we know will be of great interest, not just to currently enrolled students, but students from all over the world who have an interest in what we do. And that certificate, we know, will not just be face-to-face, but it will be online for those who can't get here, but who deserve to have a world-class introduction to the Muslim World Studies program that we offer at FIU. We are in the process of fundraising for the program, and as soon as we hit the halfway point, and we're not far from that, we will begin, ladies and gentlemen, an international search for our first director of Muslim World Studies. We'll search far and wide to make sure we get the best person who could possibly lead our program, who could work with you to make sure that we are fully embedded in the issues and the range of concerns that we know you have. So, in summary, it is our intention to move forward. It is our intention to make sure that you understand that we have clarity about how important Muslim World Studies will be at our FIU as a beacon for understanding, as a beacon for solidarity, as a beacon for what's right with 21st century civilization. We are very proud that we are going to stand with you in this. And finally, I know that there are a number of ways to express our sense of urgency, but I was instructed just recently that the best way to demonstrate our sense of urgency, FIU's sense of urgency, Cosmos' sense of urgency, is to say, yalla, 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 let's go. Congratulations.
Wow, excellent. I'm inspired. I think I might apply to be the director. What do you, I'm just kidding. After that speech, wow, really awesome. Dr. Rosenberg, thank you. We sort of know how you feel at Local 10. We had a meeting with Shabir and Brother Salahuddin and quite a few others who came to our TV station, thanks to our president and general manager, Bert Medina, who, by the way, is the first Cuban-American to be over an English-only speaking TV station. And he invited Muslim Americans, prominent Muslim Americans in our community, to come and just talk with us about what we have been doing wrong, and we've been doing a lot wrong in terms of sending the wrong message of who Muslim Americans are and what the religion is all about and what the faith is all about. A religion of peace is being distorted into something else, but that's a whole nother show. We can talk about that some other time. But I am happy now to say that one of my new colleagues, Paradise Afshar, right here, is now working with Local 10 News. Please stand, my new colleague. So this is what happens after you have a meeting. Shabir will send emails like rapid, no, just kidding. How many of you got more than 5 emails from Shabir this week? Yeah. How many got more than 10? Shabir is tough, man. He's like rapid fire. He will send those emails. Love Shabir. Thank you. Thank you too, by the way. Okay, now for the second award is the presenter will be Karam Wahid. He's a partner in the Coral Gables law firm of Wahid Vizcaino, LLP, and the political consulting firm of BGW Consultants. He's also a founding member and current chairperson of Emerge USA, a national nonprofit civic engagement organization with chapters in the states of Florida, Michigan, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Texas. And I've been invited to be a speaker there, and I will tell you these young people are truly amazing, amazing. Emerge USA Florida is a member of Cosmos. Karam also serves as on the boards of the Miami Coalition of Christians and Jews, or MCCJ, the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, National Security Committee, the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, Miami Chapter, the Florida Bar Committee on Diversity and Inclusion, and the Florida Bar Federal Court Practice Committee. A big round of applause for Karam Wahid.
Assalamu alaikum, hello. I think what is most important to a lot of folks who are listening to the presidential primaries is what kind of elected folks do we really want to have representing us? And perhaps some are thinking, is this the best we've got? Well, some of the best we've got are right here in Miami. And one of those folks is Katie Sorensen. And she represented us at the county commission level, I think it was District 8, if I'm correct, from 1994 till about 2010. And the thing that strikes me the most is what she chose to champion in those years. She chose to champion human rights. She helped pass, actually, a human rights ordinance. She chose to speak for those who didn't have representation, the farm workers down in Homestead. She chose to take on issues that we, as a collective, are just now realizing how important they are, the environment. And she was championing the environment. She took on these not because they were popular at the time. She took these on because that is who she is. She realizes something that's important. She looks ahead and she says, you know what? That cause needs a voice. And when she left office in 2010, she decided not to go into private practice, not to join a lobby firm. She could have 16 years as a commissioner, so I'm sure she had some good contacts. Not dissing any of the lobbyists in the room, by the way. But there's no question that she had opportunities in the private sector, but she chose more public service. She went and created the Good Government Initiative. What's this about? Well, essentially, it's trying to help train other folks in government in a way that gives us representation, individuals who are transparent in their actions, who are ethical, and who can help restore the trust that we all want in our government. That's what it's about, and she has led on that issue. What it really comes down to is not what you say, but who you are. And who she is somebody who is ethical and trustworthy and projects that and wants that for all of us. Public service isn't what she did, it's who she is. And for that, we are thankful. And we need more people like her. And because we need more people like her, we appreciate her efforts here tonight. Thank you very much, and come up.
You are always a troublemaker. Thank you so much for that kind introduction, Karam. And thank you for the important work that you're doing to build bridges in our community. It's an honor to have been even considered for this award, and I accept it with humility and gratitude to all of you and to Cosmos, with a warm shout out to Saif Ishouf and to Mohammed Shakir, who've been great friends. And also to be in the company of so many wonderful community leaders, and especially my mentor, Janet McAlilly, who helped me get started in politics. Let's give Janet a round of applause. Cosmos is an interesting name, especially since it's not exactly an acronym. Now, dictionary.com's definition of cosmos is the world or universe regarded as an orderly, harmonious system. So it's fair to assume the name of your organization is aspirational. As glad as I am to be here with you tonight, it's somewhat painful as well, considering this moment in our history. My best friend called me yesterday from her home in Mexico, and when I told her of my engagement here tonight, she said, "Oh," in a kind of worried tone of voice. And I said, "Well, what?" And she said she hoped there wouldn't be any violent demonstration. And I was struck that this was the first thing that came to mind, even though she's living in Mexico and not here, but this from a progressive, well-read, thoughtful person. So I appreciate that many of you have some sense of trepidation even when you leave the safety of your homes every day. Aside from the horrors being perpetrated in the name of Islam around the world, there's also the appalling anti-Muslim political rhetoric being uttered purposefully, cynically, and without regard to the consequences by candidates for President of the United States, particularly the Republican frontrunner, whose name I don't even want to invoke. It's difficult to imagine that this doesn't have a psychic effect on Muslims individually and as a community. And for that, I'm embarrassed to be in the same category of privileged white person as this loathsome man. And when I go to the airport, I'm rarely scrutinized or selected for further screening, and I'm sure that's not the experience of many of you. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of meeting with Karam, and we talked about his observation that the Muslim community in South Florida used to be very inward focused, not so much involved in the greater community or in politics. That seems to be changing, he said. It's been my experience that for progress to be made in our world, everybody has to be involved in politics. There's an expression that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. The politics that I've sought to practice over the years include the same values as all the major religions in the world, including Islam: compassion, unity, truthfulness, fairness, tolerance, responsibility, respect for and service to humanity. I fervently believe that those are the values that will ultimately prevail, and that enlightened people, whether Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, pagan, or atheist, will work together for a healthier world. Regardless of how difficult it is right now, your participation in civic life and in the political process area is necessary for you and for all of us. This community and our country needs people of your talent, ability, intelligence, and sensitivity. So thank you again to Cosmos for this honor. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, Katie, thank you very much. And now for our last award presentation. How are we doing on time? 9 o'clock? Is it 9 o'clock yet? All right, Willie, you got to bring us home now. You got to bring us home. We said 9:30, brother. If it's after 9:30, I know you're a U.S. attorney. No, I know we're going to come after you, though. If you're still your U.S. attorney, we're going to tackle you in the parking lot. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Now for the third and final award is going to be Mehmet Aludis, who will honor someone whom I happen to know, but I will let her say his name. Mehmet is a professional engineer and currently serves as an associate vice president at TY Land International, a global engineering company. Mehmet also serves as the president of Turkish American Religious Foundation Florida chapter, the vice chair at the Miami-Dade's Asian American Advisory Board. He's also a board member for Cosmos as well. Mehmet is married and has 2 lovely sons. Big round of applause, Mehmet Aludis.
Good evening, everyone. Our next award recipient is a great supporter and contributor of South Florida community. He is the world editor and for our beloved Miami Herald. He's also the chair of International Press Institute, which is dedicated to the global safeguarding of press freedom and the protection of freedom of opinion and expression. He's very good at what he does, proven with several awards that he has received. As part of his job, he travels all over the world. If you want to know where he is at any time, you need to friend him on Facebook. A couple years ago, with pure coincidence, we were both going to Istanbul at the same time. He was going to attend the EPI meeting, and I was going to visit my parents. And I promised him to show him around and have some delightful Turkish food that he has a soft spot for. I know that. But unfortunately, something urgent came up, and we couldn't do it. But John, my promise is still a promise. Well, I don't want to steal his time. Without further ado, I would like to invite my good friend, Mr. John Yearwood, to the stage to receive his well-deserved award.
Thank you very much, Mehmet. I really appreciate it. And I'm still waiting for that, not only the food, but the tour of Istanbul. So, look, I just want to thank everyone, certainly thank Cosmos, and thank the Asian Advisory Board for this award. I've been telling people for several weeks now that it's not deserving of this award, because I think there are so many people who are, I think, who do so much more in the community. But my friend Peter London, who's somewhere in the crowd, Peter knows that I always tell folks, please, no awards, particularly when I'm doing something that I really, really enjoy. But before I move on, I just want to take a minute to thank the 2 most important people in my life, and I'm really thankful that particularly my daughter Asha, who wasn't feeling great this morning but wanted to be here, and Robin and Asha, my wife Robin and daughter Asha, I want to thank you very much for being. as Mohamed said, I travel the world, and it's always great coming back and coming home to the two of you. So thank you very, very much. I also want to thank, a great group of people who I work with at the Miami Herald. Our editor, Mindy Marquez, is in the audience. Mindy, where are you? And I'm sitting with three of my colleagues and some of the absolute best people to work with. Many of you know Andres Oppenheimer, who a columnist extraordinaire in Latin America, Jacqueline Charles, who covers the Caribbean for us, and Mimi Whitefield, who has been extremely busy lately covering Cuba and international business, and I thank them. If you guys would just stand up, because I think it's important that you stand up, because I think it's really important, and I've been coming to these dinners. I'm not quite sure if it's been 7 years, but at least 5 or 6. And it's really important that people know who we are, and if you have a story to tell, to come and find us, either over coffee or outside. I think that being here is really, really important to what we do and who we are. Shabir, I know he's been mentioned several times. Not long ago, I was have the opportunity to be speaking at the United Nations, and Calvin, who I've known for about a dozen years, goes back to our time in Dallas together. When I was speaking at the UN, I referenced the fact that Cosmos has a unique program in South Florida, in which it comes to the various newspapers or television station and just talk to us about what's happening so that we can get to know each other better. And it just so happens that while we were having this dialogue in New York, it was the same day that there was that attack in California. So for a lot of people there, it really brought home the significance of this partnership and this relationship. Now, people often ask, why do I spend so much time out in the community talking to different people, groups like this and others? And I have one short story to tell, being cognizant, of course, of the time, last spring. Shabir invited me to speak at an event at a mosque in North Miami. And we were recognizing some of the young Muslim students who had been given awards a few months earlier. And these were the Silver Knight Awards that the Miami Herald sponsors. And after my talk, this young man walked up to me, and actually I saw his father before I saw him. His father was sort of pushing him toward me, and he was like, stop it. And he came up and he said, I heard what you said, and I want to be a journalist. And the fact that you came here and talk about what you do and the importance of what you do, I want to know if I can come down and visit you at the Miami Herald, and so I can see how this work is done on a professional level. And I told him that it just so happens that we were in the final stages of selecting an intern for the summer, a Thurley Smith intern, and Thurley Smith is the first African-American who worked for the Miami Herald, and he died about a half a dozen years ago or so, and we've been bringing young people into the community, into the Miami Herald every year since. And I told him, look, we are almost at the end of the process, but if you work quickly, send me your resume, send me some clips of what you've done. I would be happy to look at your application. And I was really surprised at how quickly he moved, and he was able to get me a package of his information. And he came in, we interviewed him. Jackie Charles, who's here, was among the people on the interviewing committee, and we interviewed several young people in the community. And we were really impressed with him, so we selected him as our intern. And I must say that in the 6 years or so we've been doing this, I've rarely been as impressed as I was with young Mr. Ismail Erkan. He came in and literally in a good way, really hacked the Miami Herald. By the time he left a few months later, not only did everyone know his name, we were all singing his praises. And one of the last stories he did, and I wanted to see how he was going to perform with this story. He was assigned to do a story about the friendship between the Israeli consulate and the German consulate. And I know the Deputy German Consul General is here. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much for being here. As well, of course, as Ariel, who everyone knows because he's everywhere, but from the Israeli consulate. But, and he turned in a really terrific story. When I read it needed very little editing, and it almost made the front page of the Miami Herald, but I think there was some other breaking news that unfortunately it ended up as a display on the Metro cover. So when you ask, why is it so important for us to do what we do, to go out in the community, meet people, and talk about the work that we're doing at the Herald, I think of people like Ishmael Khan, and I think of the friendship and the love that I feel when I come into a room like this, because as I look around, I see so many of my friends here. So again, I thank you for this wonderful award. I also want to thank my fellow honorees. I'm really honored to be in your company tonight and be inducted with you. And again, I thank you for taking the time to recognize some of the things I've done in the community and with the Miami Herald. Thank you very much.
I will tell you, the internet, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, they've really sort of transformed the way that we deliver news, and obviously it's much quicker now, and so that has sort of undermined newspapers to a degree. But I think people like John and Jackie and your Cuba coverage and just your paper every single day make the case of why newspapers are still so important to all of us. Wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I know I get mine every single day. Big fan of the Miami Herald, and a big fan of Jackie, too. She knows that. She's helped me out quite a bit. And John, your wife, I think she helped me book my first trip to Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken, back in Dallas. Is that right? Not true? Not true? Didn't help me? You didn't help me do that. That was another John Yearwood. Sorry. Yeah. It was with a male friend. It was not with a female friend. I was not married at that time either, so. Anyway. We will be taking pictures afterwards, by the way, for all of the honorees, so please stay, and so we'll take pictures with all of the Cosmos board members. And now, to recognize our sponsors for tonight, Syed Faisal. He is an experienced healthcare operations and technology executive. He's been affiliated with many South Florida healthcare providers. He's also lived in South Florida for more than 25 years. He's a founding member of Cosmos and has served on the board of Emerge USA, a coalition partner of Cosmos as well. Mr. Faisal is married to Shawana and has two beautiful daughters, one of whom you saw. She gave the Pledge of Allegiance, and Alaya as well. Big round of applause for Syed Faisal.
Thank you, Kelvin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, Cosmos is a zero-budget organization. We don't do any fundraising. We have no staff. But in order to be successful in our mission and our public outreach initiatives, we have to have very strong, committed, hands-on-the-deck leadership. We also need to have a very vast and active volunteer group, and also deep-rooted relationship with the extended family, your family, who you are, across the other end. So we are fortunate to have these three things going, but as you can imagine, a program like this and our other overhead expenses throughout the year, there are few individuals and corporate sponsors who come to rescue us every year. And we are extremely delighted that once again they have helped us by putting this program together and help us throughout the year. So it's my pleasure now to acknowledge our sponsors for the evening. Let me start from the silver level. The first sponsor is Merck Data, technology company. Riyash and Shirley Merchant are here. Riyash, please stand up. He's been with us for now 6 years. He was been with us from day one, and he's still with us. So thank you, Riaz. First time this year, Marlin Realty. Mr. Raja Heather, is he here? Thank you. Nidal Hussain and family. Nidal is one of our founding board members here at Cosmos. Recently moved to New Jersey, but he still remembers us and prays for us, and he also sponsored tonight's program. And Mr. Tahir Ismail and family, Tahir Enterprise. Is Mr. Tahir here? He owns several retail stores throughout Dade and Broward County. So thank you, Mr. Tahir. Gold sponsorship, Palmetto Subacute. Palmetto Subacute is a nursing home located off of Palmetto and 8th Street. They are one of the few nursing homes that have been consistently rated 5-star by both ACA and U.S. News and World Report. So Mr. Khalid Mirza and Diana Mirza. Diana is here somewhere. Thank you, Diana. All right, let's move to the platinum sponsorship. Senior Medical Associates, Dr. Jaffar's group and Fawzia Jaffar, are they here? Yeah, they're here. Right here. They have 12 locations focused on geriatric medicine, but they take care of your entire body and with a big focus on wellness. 12 locations, so if you know any senior in your family that would like to have a good physician, like Dr. Jaffar, they are all over Broward, south and north. Also, American Textile and Apparel. Ashraf Hamdani is here with us. He has set up an amazing company. This company is based right here in South Florida, employs some 19,000 people worldwide, in Honduras, Nicaragua, in the Middle East, and in Pakistan, and so on. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamdani, for your generosity tonight. And lastly, we have a major corporation who has sponsored tonight's events, and that is Turkish Airlines. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to be looked at as a global city, you have to have a lot of different ingredients in that city in order to be called a global city. You have to have a world-class universities like FIU and University of Miami, world-class healthcare system, museums, extreme diversity, but also you need an airport that connects you to the world. Now, for too long, I've been here for over 25 years. For too long, Miami Airport, which was always been one of the busiest airports in the world, but our focus had been strictly South and Central America and tourism from Europe. We were totally disconnected from the Asian continent, which is the biggest continent in the world, and also from Africa. Now, all that is changing. 2 years ago, Qatar Airlines started coming to Miami. It's coming on a daily basis. And last year, Turkish Airlines started to come to Miami on a daily basis. Now, Turkish Airlines connect you to Istanbul. And from there on, you can pretty much go anywhere in the world. Turkish Airlines is also the biggest airline in the world when it comes to the number of countries it connects. So if you think about it, it's changing the psyche of Miami, the type of tourism you're going to see from all over the world. It's going to be amazing, and it's already happening. Turkish Airlines is also being called the most favorite airline in Europe. I recently had a pleasure to go to Dubai in it, and I was thoroughly impressed by your service. So thank you very much, Turkish Airlines. We do have a small video to present, so we'll present the video as soon as I walk down. Now, you do have orchids on your table. Shabir told me they cost about $200 a pop. I don't know if that's the right number. But whatever you would like to donate, there is a small envelope on your table. All proceeds from this will go to Noor Center and UHI Free Clinic. So once again, I appreciate all of you who have sponsored this event, and we'll see you again next year. Thank you very much.
Very nicely done. Thank you, Turkish Airlines. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now for a special acknowledgement tonight, Shabir Motawala is going to come up to do that. He really needs no introduction. He's been in South Florida for more than 35 years, a prominent member of the South Florida Muslim community. He is a pharmacist by trade, has held numerous leadership roles in the industry. Shabir is one of the founders of UHI Free Clinic. He's also an active board member and pro bono administrator at the clinic as well. Mr. Mutawalla is also a founding member of Cosmos and is married to Asma for 35 years. Yes. Wow. I'm only 36, man. You got married when I was one. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He has a married daughter and a grandson, by the way. Big round of applause for Shabir.
Assalamu alaikum. Somewhere else, if I say that, they will ask me that we should be removed from this country. So welcome to this new thing. First of all, my name has been called so many times that I'm thinking that Cosmos name should be changed and it should be called Caliphate of Shabir Mutawalla. How about that? We have acknowledged a couple of bridge builders, 3 bridge builders here. But there are a lot of people who really did a lot of work. 2015 had been a very, very difficult year for Muslim community. And 2016 is not going to be any easy one with the Trump mania going around. So while there are some colleges who fired their tenured professor to talk about Islam, in Miami, we are very fortunate that we have institutions of higher learning that they encourage their faculty to not only talk about Islam, but get Muslim community involved. And I want to acknowledge a couple of people who really went out of their way to talk about the role of Cosmos played in this regard. To begin with, from Florida International University, Dr. David Skip, where are you? Dr. Daniel Alvarez, I think he just stepped out for a second. Oh, he's there. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching a program on WPBT. It's called Viewpoint, and he was on that program. And they asked him the question about what Muslims are doing and Muslims are not good and this thing. And his comment was, "You haven't met the people of Cosmos." So thank you, Dr. Alvarez, for doing that. A year ago, I was in a panel discussion at MCCJ. It was called Can We Talk? After I finished my panel discussion, a young man came to me, and I'll call him young because I'm carrying golden passport with Miami-Dade now. So he came to me and he gave me his card. And he says, "Shabir, can we really talk?" And I look at his card says Randall Kaufman, Chair for Holocaust and Social Sciences Studies at Homestead Campus. And I said, "Yes, we will talk." A month later, he called me. He says, "Look, we want to start a program at Miami-Dade Homestead Campus where we want to encourage Muslim community to come and talk to students." 3 months, 4 months later, we started that program. It's very successful. We have been engaging almost 200 to 300 students every time we go there. Randy, please stand up. And because of his success, another faculty member from Miami-Dade College called me. She happens to be a member with me at the Asian American Advisory Board. And she asked me, how can we replicate this program at our Inter-American campus? I let her talk with Randy. They worked it out. It's starting last month, if I'm correct. That program in Homestead is being relayed live at Inter-American campus, and the person who played the important part is Adrian Thompson. Where are you, Adrian? Not only that is going to be relayed, but I was told that starting fall of this year, that Inter-American campus is going to have a live discussion just like Homestead campus. So we'll be in 2 campuses. And if I'm not mistaken, Randy told me that starting 2018 or 17, this program is going to be done at each and every campus of Miami-Dade College. Thank you for working hard. Another person who works with Department of Justice. Daytime, he enforces the law. On the weekends, he spreads the word of God. Anytime he goes and he talks about anything about religion, and people come and ask him about what Muslims are, he says, you haven't met the Cosmos leadership. You haven't met the people from Kendall Mosque or Miami Garden Mosque or Al-Ansar Mosque. These are the people he will tell you what Islam is. Norman, please stand up. The part about Norman is, I think he knows so much about Islam that sometimes I'm afraid to even talk to him, because he can quote me the ayah from the Quran and he'll tell me, okay, Shabir, this is what it says. Norman, thank you. Now, all we do all this kind of positive thing, but as you know, the media is very busy with Trump mania, with Kardashian, with all kind of things. So our positive work doesn't get out unless we find the right person. And thanks to one person whose work is on display outside, a lot of positive stories were given in 2015. And also thank you to Miami Herald, who gave us the platform to give the stories. Paradise, please stand up. Now, Paradise used to be with Miami Herald. Now she has joined Channel 10. So hopefully, we will be more coverage from Channel 10 now. With Calvin, I'm putting you in the spot now. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Without your support, without your help, this would not be possible what we are doing today. I mean, yes, there is a lot of hate, there is a lot of misguidance, but in Miami, in South Florida, we are very, very fortunate that we have leaders like Dr. Rosenberg. We have leaders like institutions like Miami Herald, ACLU, AIJ, who really work with us. We have clergy like Rabbi Schiff, Rabbi Hine, Reverend Hutter, Reverend Whitehead, I think she's here somewhere too. They work with us, they encourage us, they tell us, hey, listen, anytime, any problem, call us. And I know I pick a lot of time when I go to FBI meetings, and the US attorney, I think he's laughing at that one. I pick on them, but honestly, they have been very good friend of the community. Anytime there is a problem, there is anything, they call right away. They find out if everything is okay, call us and do it. And before I conclude, I'd just like to recognize, and I'm going to call the name, and please stand up, some of our coalition partner of Cosmos, Masjid Al-Ansar. Please stand up to be recognized. And the idea of recognizing these people is we want everybody to know who they are. So if you want to interact with them, meet with them, please go ahead and do that. Islamic Center of Greater Miami, also known as Miami Garden Masjid. I think we have board members here. Islamic School of Miami in Kendall, also known as Masjid An-Nur. Islamic Jafari Association, I think we have many members, including Dr. Jafar and Jamil Rizvi. Irshad Center in South Miami. It's new and upcoming. Emerge USA. Muslim Women Organization of South Florida. They do a wonderful job making food distribution pantries, giving out food to the needies and all that. Noor Center. Florida Muslim Bar Association. I think there are a few, Yasir. And finally, one of the marquee institutions of the Muslim community who has done a great job providing the free medical care in Miami Garden area. When we started that clinic, we only used to open only 3 hours or 5 hours a week, treating about 18 patients a week. Currently, we treat about 35 patients, open 6 days a week. We are glad to be partnering with FIU. Hopefully we can get some grant money from FIU to continue and increase the thing. Dr. Rosenberg said, yes, come and talk to me later on. Member of the UHI Community Care Clinic, please rise. Dr. Qureshi, Dr. Jafar, Mr. Omdani, Dr. Zakia Subhani. Thank you for your Azhar Dalal and Tehseen. So these are the, Aisha Subhani is one of our, or Rehan is there who are volunteer. So clinic is now open 6 days a week, 60 hours, I think 60 hours right now, treating more than 35 patients. The clinic sees the patient who have no insurance, and it is supported 100% by support from all these members. Once again, thank you everyone for coming and joining, and may God bless you all. And just to say, I know I sent him 5 or 6 emails because he's difficult to get hold. But he's doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
You know, I think he's reading too many tweets from Donald Trump, and that's why.
Okay, now to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight. We're after the 9:30 hour, so it's not on me, it's on Willie. So it's that bus going by again, by the way. Yasir Bilo is an experienced lawyer in the areas of business and employment law, civil litigation, and civil appeals. Yasir also serves as an administrative judge for Miami-Dade County's Commission on Human Rights. He's also the founder and the current president of the Florida Muslim Bar Association. To introduce our keynote speaker tonight, Yasir Bilo. Big round of applause. Come on, guys, more energy. We need energy for Willie now. He's one of the smartest people I know. We're going to give him some love.
Thank you, Calvin, for that introduction. I like the way he says my name. I think I'm going to have him record that for a voicemail or something. Before I begin introducing our keynote speaker for tonight, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge something that occurred today. I don't know if most of you are aware, but Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia passed away early today. And I know that a lot of people in this room probably didn't agree with his opinions or his writings, but I think as people of faith, one of the things that we're always taught is that we take lessons from every life event. And this is a life event, and one of the lessons that we can easily take is to treat everyone with the dignity that we would want to be treated with. And so I want to acknowledge that he has passed away. I want to offer our prayers to him and to his family so that they may find peace in his death. Now, I'm here. I have the privilege to introduce our keynote speaker. I think he's going to speak for about 1 minute. In 2010, Willie, he insists you call him Willie, Ferrer was appointed by President Obama and thereafter approved by the Senate so that he can become the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. Now, this is a little known fact that after that point, President Obama and the U.S. Senate have never agreed on anything else. It's true. So Willie is actually a local boy. He was born in Hialeah, went to Hialeah Miami Lakes High School. After law school, he clerked for a federal judge and then worked for about 3 years at a local Miami law firm. Thereafter, he took a turn into public service. And the public service is why he's here tonight and where he's made his reputation. Willie has served, among other things, as Deputy Chief of Staff and Counsel for Attorney General Janet Reno. In the year 2000, Willie became an Assistant U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District, and he handled numerous matters, including international money laundering, healthcare fraud, narcotics, and international human rights abuses. Unfortunately, all of that stuff occurs in the Southern District of Florida. During his career, Willie has been recognized by multiple sources as one of the top attorneys in the United States. In 2000, he received the Attorney General's, an award called Attorney General's Medal. He received that in the year 2000. More recently, he has been involved in building bridges with the Muslim community in light of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that we've talked about almost tangentially here tonight. Willie and his office have engaged in a series of meetings with South Florida Muslim leaders to assure us that they are here for us and to also obtain our cooperation, Muslim cooperation, with his office. Now, I think that's very important because when law enforcement begins to treat the Muslim community as part of the larger American community, and when American Muslims begin to see law enforcement as someone that they can rely on for support and security, that's not just building bridges, that's building an infrastructure for a stronger American community. And I think Willie has started that process successfully, and hopefully that will continue. So without further delay, because he only has 1 minute left, I give you Willie Ferrer.
Assalamu alaikum. And I say that proudly, Shabir, and no one's going to kick me out of here for saying that. I say that proudly. Yes. And thank you for reading my mom's script. That was awesome. So thank you very much. I love being here, and I'm not going to keep you very long. I'm going to make just a couple of points because I feel like I'm with family. I remember coming here to the first Cosmos Gala. And I can feel the warmth in the room, and it's not just because it's Valentine's Day weekend. Guys, you have 2 hours if you haven't gotten anything for your wife or significant others. I will tell you that it is an honor, and again, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here to honor the honorees today, because all 3 of you have done incredible things, whether it's public service, whether it's through international reporting, or education, taking that education to the next step. You guys have opened our eyes, and you have told us and showed us how important it is to get actively engaged in your communities. And I love the term bridge builder, because people have said many times that in our lives, stones sometimes are thrown in our path. And you got to decide, what are you going to do with those stones? Are you going to build a wall, or are you going to build a bridge? And yes. And I thank you, Cosmos, because you and the honorees today are building those bridges. I remember 5 years ago when Cosmos built that bridge in the midst of stones that were facing them in terms of conciliation and relationships. But you all got together. You created this organization, and I am so proud to be a friend of this organization and a friend of yours and a partner. Because more importantly, we're here, and a relationship means trust, and it means coming together and talking and having a dialogue. And it is something that I will never take for granted, because you, Cosmos, everybody here, have been, trailblazers of tolerance and of respect and of dignity. And the reason I love that is because those are the lessons that my parents taught me when they came and they had to flee their own nation for freedom. And they taught my brother and me, they said, Willie, we may not have much, but they taught me a couple things. First, that immigrants and people from all sorts of backgrounds add value to our society. Everyone adds value. And the other thing they told me is that we're not here to sit by the sidelines. They said, we are here now in this country. This is our new home. We are Americans, and we're here to make it better, which is why, and we're one family, which is why when President Obama went to the mosque in Baltimore, and he said, when any part of our family starts to feel separate or second class or targeted, that tears at the very fabric of our nation. Those are strong words. And that's one commitment that I want to reiterate today, that you have us in law enforcement, on the federal, state, and local government. You have our support. We have your back. We have folks here in this audience from the FBI. You met the wonderful Norman Hemming. Everybody, if you don't know Norm, you got to know Norm. I mean, he is our community engagement person in our office. And one thing that I love is to hear Shabir say that he feels comfortable, and anyone can feel comfortable in calling us whenever something happens. Because the rhetoric that we're hearing, absolutely right, what Katie Sorensen was saying, the rhetoric, that talk that we're hearing after 9/11, after Paris, after San Bernardino, those words have no place in this society. No place. And I want to just tell you something just from what I observe at work, okay? Because I want you to know that even though you're hearing those words, it's a small number. The vast majority of South Floridians join all of us in building these bridges. And why do we know that? Because Muslim Americans are our friends, you're our neighbors, you are people that go and defend our country to the death. You are in law enforcement. We work with Nizar Hazmi, who's here. You are us, we are you. And I want to make sure that everyone here is very clear that even though there are many challenges at the Department of Justice, there are a lot of things that concern us. The backlash, the unwarranted talk or acts against any place of worship is something that we are going to have on the front burner. And you can count on us that we will do whatever it takes to make sure that they end and that anyone who dares to do you harm goes to justice and gets justice. So I will end just by saying that, you know, the principles that we live by in our office, that we will continue to live by, is that every child should be able to go to school without being harassed. Every child should be able to go home safely. Every American here deserves the respect and dignity that all of us are expected to have. And I am proud of our partnership. And I will tell you that nothing makes me happier than to see not only Muslim Americans here, but all sorts of individuals from all sorts of consulates around the world. Think about what you're doing right here. Think about what we have going on just in this room. That's powerful. That's beautiful. It's something that we got to continue to emulate around the country and around the world, because it's right here. It is right here. And I will just tell you that we got to just take our example from these trailblazers today, these honorees, follow their lead. And I will tell you that each and every single one of us can be bridge builders. It starts with your voice. That's all it starts with, just your voice. And I will end with the two words that sometimes you may not hear a lot. And these are words that President Obama said. And it's thank you. Thank you for serving. Thank you for being our friends. Thank you for being with us. And thank you for lifting us and lifting every other part of our society and our community to join you in the cause of unity. Thank you. And in my native tongue, muchas gracias. Thank you. Have a good night.
We joked about the time for Willie, but I could have listened to him for another 30 minutes. When you say, awesome job. Another big round of applause. Awesome, awesome. I hope that your name one day is circulated on the list of people for the U.S. Supreme Court. It would be an awesome, yes, absolutely. Yes. So we can say thank you to you. Now to conclude the program, I'd like to bring up Dr. Jaffer one more time. And thank you for allowing me to serve as your MC tonight, and I'll see you on television on Monday at 4, 5, 6, and 11 o'clock.
Yes, a great round of applause for Calvin. What a great MC. And I must say, you're funnier and more vibrant than ever before. Look around the room. You know, look at this. You got counselors from Japan, Germany, Israel, Turkey, and you've got people of all faiths. You've got Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists. We have United Nations. We have a wonderful community here. What a sight. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come here. Thank you. You know, when a Muslim usually starts reading his holy book, he says, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. It means I begin in the name of that Lord, that loving Lord who's the greatest creator, and he's merciful and kind. But by the way, Khalid Salahuddin came and said our prayer, and he used the word Allah. By the way, Allah does not mean the moon god of Arabia, okay? It's an Arabic word for God. And it's the same God that you've seen the scriptures of Torah or in the Bible. It's the same God. And we believe in the same prophets. Anyway, I wanted to clear that so that you all know. I want to thank you, Willie. My hair stood up. And I don't have much, but they did stand up, okay? Thank you. Thank you. You touched my heart. Thank you. Thank you. And Calvin, thank you very much. Our recipients, for doing what you did, and you came. You came because you feel this is important. A lot of people get awards, but you came and took this award, and I could see you felt it in your heart, and thank you. For Muslims, no matter where you live, in which country of the world, you are obligated to be loyal, patriotic, and a contributing member of society. Even your neighbors are considered your family. You have to take care of them and be in charge of their welfare. You can't sleep if there's one person hungry in your village, in your neighborhood. So these are the values. These are the enduring common human values we have. But these are part of Islam. And today, with partnership with you folks, we do a lot of engagement with you. We do things with you. We work in different organizations, from Rotary to media to politicians to whatnot, to make you understand who we are, to work with ACLU. By the way, I called Howard Simon when they passed a law that I couldn't ask my mentally sick patient whether you have a gun. And I was really livid. I called Howard. Howard said, we are filing a lawsuit. And he succeeded in that. Thank you for standing up for medicine, Anyway, so we do battered women, free clinic, homeless people, and Project Miami, Project Fort Lauderdale, Broward Pantry, all this. So what? It's our duty. These guys commemorating this martyrdom of the Prophet's grandson, they give pints of blood. So far, we have given hundreds of pints of blood in Muharram. All this. But so what? It doesn't matter, because your fellow Americans, more than half of them, think your religion is bad and Muslims are bad people. And there is some truth to that. Think about it. Think about it. There are people out there who, in the name of Islam, and this is the elephant in the room and I have to address it, who in the name of Islam, they pray, they read the Quran, but they do heinous things. And these are very religious people. And they look religious. And they claim to be following the book. They're following the Prophet. They're following the religion. And they're doing horrible things. Before they did it to the fellow Muslims, they've killed hundreds of thousands of fellow Muslims. Now they're beginning to come to Europe. They're doing things in Turkey, and now they've gone to Europe, and you have Paris, and now they've come to our soil. You've got guys doing, shoe bomber and that bomber and San Bernardino. And our politicians have taken up that call and said, look, these guys are bad. These guys are dangerous. And I told you, Muslims, Jews, Christians have all been part of this fabric from the foundation of this nation. Our Thomas Jefferson was a Secretary of State. He made a relationship with the King of Morocco and saved our navy, our merchant ships, from attack by the pirates. Therefore, today, the longest peace treaty in the world is the peace treaty between America and Morocco in 1677. 1777, yeah. Longest peace treaty. The first country to recognize was Morocco, because the King of Morocco really believed in America and liked them because we had a relationship. Because Thomas Jefferson, he had a well-thumbed Bible. Keith Ellison, the first Muslim who went to become to swearing in, used Thomas Jefferson's Bible. So Muslims are part of the fabric, but they've suddenly become the other. In our country, we have had the other. First, we came from Britain, then the Germans started coming, we didn't like them. Then the Irish came. They were the other. Then the Catholics came. Oh my God, there's a different faith. We didn't like them. The Jews came. Oh, we vilified them. And the Africans, African Americans have the longest slog. Okay, but we finally put a president who is African American. But we've succeeded. We moved over. But today, the other are the Muslims. It's always easy to pick on something. We saw what happened in Germany, you know. This guy was a smart speaker and so on and whatnot, and was patriotic and nationalistic, and he created a fervor in nice people. These were Germans whose neighbors, his kids grew up together, but they happened to be a Jew. And suddenly, they killed 6 million of them with no compunction. They became Nazis. They did this, they did that. In Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsi. In Bosnia, it's happening. It's happened in Afghanistan and so on. So what I'm trying to tell you is when somebody becomes the other, it's a very slippery path and bad things can happen. So I said, how do you solve problems? By saying prayers, right? And I didn't address the elephant in the room. People still say that these are Muslims. They believe in what they do. Let me tell you the truth. Islam has never been like this. There was no philosophy that what's happening. Less than 200 years ago, somebody decided to write a new form of Islamic philosophy. But it stayed in the sands of Arabia. But with the rise of the petrodollar, it learned legitimacy and sponsorship. And it came into full being, and we used it also as the West when Afghanistan was invaded by Soviet Union. We used this philosophy to train the Mujahideen to fight the Soviet Union, and were successful. But these same guys turned on us. They became Al-Qaeda. And they started killing our Muslims and non-Muslims. And they attacked 2 of our embassies. They killed, they destroyed our Navy, USS Cole. Next thing you know, 9/11 happens. Until then, Americans had no opinion about Muslims. Slowly, they started realizing, who are these guys? What do they do? Why would they do this? Suddenly, any woman wearing a scarf was suspect. Anybody keeping a beard was, I don't know about him. He's practicing too hard. Maybe he's one of them, one of Al-Qaeda. Then next thing you know, it's ISIS. There's a caliphate out there. Just remember, to us, we are the first enemies of them. They think we are first to be annihilated. They've killed hundreds of thousands of Muslims. They've killed probably a few thousand Christians and non-Muslims. But Muslims have been the biggest victim. And I want to tell you, because in the media it's there, what are the moderate Muslims doing? Why can't they stop them? We are the first victims of this. We have no power of them. But the world together, with the Muslim world, has the power to stop this scourge. And God willing, with our help, we will cure this. So whenever somebody gets on the pulpit to read a prayer, Muslims, just like all of the Abrahamic faiths, you have a little prayer, a discussion, scripture, and a prayer to end. So Khalid Salahuddin said, you must say a prayer before you end. So I won't hold you anymore. Really, thank you for keeping our time. But this is a prayer, it's an interesting prayer. I want you to understand this. We believe in all the prophets that you see in the scripture. And we revere Prophet Moses. And we use this prayer a lot in the beginning of our sermons. And it goes like this in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. What did I just say? Moses was an Israelite in bondage. But he was born when the Pharaoh got this idea, the dream, that there will be a guy from that tribe who will destroy you. So what did he do? Kill every firstborn, right? Moses' mother puts him in a river, gets rescued by who? Pharaoh's wife. Brings him home. And Pharaoh, his advisor says, what if this guy is an Israelite? Let's do a test. If this guy is guided by divine force, he will not choose what I'm going to do for him. Kept a ruby and a coal, hot burning coal. If this guy has got his God helping him, he will choose the ruby. Moses chose the coal and burnt his tongue. Now, finally, fast forward, he becomes the prophet, and God is telling him, go forth and preach. And this is the prayer Moses said. Oh God, you've given me this job, but open my chest so I can take this big burden. Make my task easy. Reduce the impediment of my tongue, and let the people who I talk to understand. So I told you this prayer of Moses that Muslims use all the time, especially when they're about to start a lecture. This is a very common prayer. And I use this at the end of our gathering here today because I'm sending you out as ambassadors. You who are not Muslims, I want you to understand that. In Islam, we have only one relationship with all our fellow human beings. Either you're a brother in faith or sister in faith, or you're a brother or sister in humanity. There is no other. We are brothers and sisters in this world. And I want you to go forth and take this message that you have met Muslims and they are good people, and take the message that not all of them are bad. There are some nasty guys out there, but they are not really Muslims, and the good Muslims don't consider them as one of us. And for you Muslims, it is your duty to enhance your civic activity, to continue doing what your faith has dictated upon you, to be a good human being, to be serving, to help, and to alleviate suffering in this world. It's your duty. Don't take it lightly, so that tomorrow the world will say, that's a very good American, and he also happens to be a Muslim. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. You made us our heart warm, but we want to enshrine this moment in pictures, so we'll ask all our recipients and all the Cosmos leadership to come up. And for all of you, thank you very much. God bless you, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.